Wow, I can't believe you got us these exclusive tickets for an overnight cruise on Elon Musk's submarine, Frank.
Yeah, they must have cost a fortune.
Actually, he gave them to me for free, but for some reason he was adamant that I invite a leftist YouTuber along for the trip, as well as an adorable working-class puppet. That's the only reason I invited you two schmoes along.
Well, either way, thanks. I've always wanted to take a trip on a submarine.
Yeah, submarines are neato.
I bid you welcome, fools.
Hi,
Elon
Musk.
Musk.
And now I have you right where I want you.
Yeah, well, thanks for the free ride on your submarine.
Oh, you can thank me later, after I've brainwashed you into loving capitalism.
Oh, great. Elon Musk is up to yet another diabolical scheme. I should have known.
Brainwashing? How are you gonna do that?
By forcing you to watch pro-capitalist YouTube videos.
Oh, you're just ripping off Mystery Science Theater 3000.
It's legally distinct. That show is in space, and I've trapped you in my submarine. And they had robots, not puppets.
Well, they were robot puppets, though.
Not diegetically.
Wait, am I diegetically a puppet or a horse?
Actually, can we just kind of move on? I don't think this bit's connecting with our audience at all.
Well, sure thing, American. Well, anyway, I'm not sure I'm prepared to hear the answer to the question I've posited, nor to consider the implications of any such answer.
All right, cut to the chase. So what's this lousy video you picked out for us to watch?
Oh, I didn't pick out the video myself, no. I've delegated that task to one of the most brilliant minds in the worlds of persuasive communication, my director of marketing. Meet Denny, the climate change denying killer whale.
Arctic ice melt is a natural cycle. Well, it is. All right, okay, whatever. So what video are you gonna make us watch? Today I've picked out for you a brilliant masterpiece from the geniuses at Prager University.
Prager University?
No.
Excellent work, Denny. Now I'm flooding all of the compartments except for the theater. Away with you!
Oh, let's get out of here!
I'll leave the debris there anyway.
Elon Musk trapped me and my puppets in his SpaceX submarine to make me watch the worst videos that I've ever seen. It's Political Science Theater 2020!
I can't wait to watch this garbage.
I can't believe they don't have popcorn.
Shh, it's starting.
Now, no one disputes that all economic
Hey,
systems
look, it's
reflect
George
the
Gilder,
intrinsic self-concern of
renowned
human
social
beings.
critic.
Oh, I know this guy. He's renowned for being a flagrant racist.
Racist?
Yeah, he claims that Native Americans were conquered by white people because their culture was corrupt and unsuccessful. And he also said that black people in America have a self-destructive culture.
Sounds like a real butthole.
Oh, yeah. He's also pissed off that women broke what he calls the sexual constitution by refusing to let men rule over their lives.
Well, that's kind of creepy.
Don't forget he's also a fervent lobbyist for teaching intelligent design in schools. What a maroon.
He also says that the reason people are poor in America is because they're not Christian enough.
It would appear to me that the appeal to authority embedded in this credit title falls flat not just because of an easy-to-spot typographical error, but also because the authority being presented is a regular shithead.
Well said, horse.
Wait a minute. Let me back it up. I missed what he said in his little intro.
Now, no one disputes that all economic systems reflect the intrinsic self-concern of human beings.
What does that even mean?
Well, it means they had no idea how to start this video, so they just jumped right into nonsense. Push play.
Only capitalism creates a group of people
Ugh!
known as
Where'd he go?
I think he might have broken a
who
hip
have
in that
no
transition.
choice.
Hold on. Let's back it up and see what he was saying.
Only capitalism.
I'm
creates
George
a group
Gilder.
of
I
people
sound like
known
depressed
as
Jimmy Stewart.
entrepreneurs who have no choice but to concern themselves with the needs and desires of
Oh,
others.
they have no choice.
These others
Where'd they get
are
that
their
definition
customers.
from?
I believe it comes from the Merriam Bullshit Dictionary.
They literally just made up their own definition of the word entrepreneur and presented it like it's commonly accepted or something.
I think we've witnessed the birth of a brand new logical fallacy.
Argumentum ad fake dictionarium.
He says that only capitalism has entrepreneurs, but I'm pretty sure every economic system has people who are tasked with coming up with ideas to solve social problems and advance society.
Yeah, but according to Gilda here, capitalism is inherently better because entrepreneurs are motivated by self-interest. Unlike socialism, in which society is presumably driven by greedy government officials who are motivated by, self-interest.
No, you're not getting it. Every economic system is motivated by self-interest, but under capitalism, self-interest is, altruism?
This is a jumbled mess of a thesis.
Well, he's not finished yet. Let's keep going.
Few economists, however, actually study the behavior of these entrepreneurs.
They don't.
I'm pretty sure they do. Here, let me just pull up Google Scholar and type in entrepreneur behavior. 244,000 results.
It's almost like studying the behavior of capitalists and entrepreneurs is one of the core activities of economic science.
I guess nobody clued Gilda here in on the fact that behavioral economics has been one of the key focuses of economic inquiry since the publication of a paper called Prospect Theory in 1979.
All right, let's let him finish.
If they did, they would discover that entrepreneurs, by the very nature of what they do, must shun greed.
God, that sound effect makes me physically ill.
This sound effect?
It's like the 80s are taking a dump in my ears.
I don't know, it's not so bad. I kind of like it.
Oh, cut it out.
Quit it!
All right, let's find out why most entrepreneurs must shun greed.
First and foremost, responding to others is the very opposite of greed.
Well, that's not how opposites work.
They just conjured up some benign platitude, falsely claimed that it's the opposite of a bad thing, then attributed the good thing to entrepreneurs to just totally fabricate a point from thin air.
It's like they wrote this script using Mad Libs.
Well, this guy probably does get pretty mad at libs. Get it? Well, there's a joke in there somewhere.
Moving on.
Second, greed in the economic sphere.
We paid for these motion transitions, by golly. We're going to use all of them.
This typography is giving me a migraine.
How many layers of kerning are you on, my dude?
Begin by saving,
Well, that piggy
which
bank
is
almost got
defined
us.
as foregoing consumption to achieve long-term goals.
I think Gilder got impulsiveness confused with greed, but greed's about appropriation, not consumption, but he's talking about consumption here, which is really more about gluttony. I don't know, this is a hot mess.
This guy's like Little Carmine. His entire line of thinking's based on malapropisms.
Little Carmine?
You know, from The Sopranos.
Sopranos?
Jesus, Frank, we're too old for YouTube.
Just play a little Carmine montage. Maybe the gag will still land.
The fundamental question is, will I be as effective as a boss like my dad was? And I will be. Even more so, but until I am, it's going to be hard to verify that I think I'll be more effective.
Entrepreneurs, by the very nature of what they do, must shun greed.
We wanted to surmise your interest and then tailor the part to your specificities.
Responding to others is the very opposite of greed.
There's one thing my father taught me, it's this. A pint of blood costs more than a gallon of gold.
Entrepreneurs must begin by saving.
Oh, another piggy bank! It's on a screen, Glue. It can't hurt you.
But we're on a screen.
Stop breaking the fourth wall, Glue.
Often
Sorry.
it takes months, sometimes many years, to bring a new product or service to market.
Well, I guess it's not a mugging if I spend a few months planning to rob you before I stick the gun in your face.
Well, that does sound like capitalism.
It's convenient how they're leaving out the part about how capitalists are inherently exploiting the teams that they're building.
We do that, don't we?
Yeah, and you also restrict workplace democracy and rule autocratically over your workers.
Thanks for noticing.
That's not a good thing, Frank.
Well, it's good for me.
In designing their goods and services, they must, once again, focus not on their own needs, but on the needs of others. This, too, is the opposite of greed.
How many opposites does greed have?
I mean, it's true. When I start a new company, I do have to think about the needs of my employees. Like, I have to think about what they need to do or else they're fired. And what I need them to do so that I can make a ton of money.
It's kind of like that time I asked you for a day off because my mother was very sick, and you told me I needed to come into work anyway if I needed to keep my job.
Yeah, see, that's the opposite of greed.
You're a terrible person, Frank.
Thank you.
So what entrepreneurs do when they seek profit is far more than self-interest. Rather, profit is a measure of how well a company has served others.
That's not what profit is.
Monsanto, Bechtel, Equifax.
Yeah, profits are the extra money we capitalists take after we pay all of our expenses. There are only two ways to increase profits: by cutting costs or raising prices. We don't get rewarded for offering the best product at the lowest price. We get rewarded for cutting as many corners as we possibly can and jacking up prices as high as possible without anybody catching on.
Pfizer, Nestle, Chiquita.
Yeah, this guy's acting like there's no such thing as a profitable company that's completely evil.
ExxonMobil, Halliburton, pretty much every pharmaceutical company.
And don't forget Dow Chemical Horse. Remember how they developed Agent Orange as an agricultural product, realized it wasn't marketable to farmers because it killed all their crops and was known to contain agents that caused birth defects, so then they sold it to the military during the Vietnam War as a weapon so that they could make a ton of profits off of the suffering of the babies of American soldiers and Vietnamese civilians?
Or what about how Nestle profits from water crises around the world by stealing groundwater during droughts, thus making the droughts even worse, by the way, then selling it back to the desperately thirsty poor people in those areas?
Well, then there's AT&T.
Under capitalism, a business prospers
Charter Communications.
only if customers voluntarily trade for its output.
Cox Communications.
And it's only by improving its service to others
Spectrum.
Verizon.
that a business can thrive and grow.
Comcast,
Xfinity.
If the entrepreneur pursues his own interests first and his customers' interests second, his business will fail. And sooner or later, an altruistic entrepreneur will surpass him.
Oh yeah, it's not like giant capitalist institutions ever ruthlessly stamp out and eradicate smaller competition, only to then degrade the quality of their products and screw over consumers.
It's not like video game companies ever buy out cool little indie game developers, then eviscerate them and run their intellectual property into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Amazon only managed to build their giant, incredible international supply chain by torturing their employees in those Orwellian nightmare factories they call warehouses.
It's not like capitalism is predicated on an exploitative relationship in which capitalists parasitically siphon up wealth from the working class by robbing us of our labor value.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Walmart and other big box retailers haven't shut down thousands of little family-owned shops around America by throwing their corporate weight around and dropping their prices to levels that are just impossible to compete with, only to then crank them back up again once the competition was snuffed out.
Oh wait, yes it is. It's totally like all those things.
Capitalism at its essence, then, is a competition of giving. Of course, self-interest is involved, but the genius of capitalism, and only capitalism, is that it channels self-interest into altruism. Entrepreneurs can only help themselves by helping others.
Okay, let's get a hold of ourselves, we knuckleheads.
All those who
Clue,
have started
quiet down.
businesses
Sorry,
and
I'm
made great
tickled.
sacrifices to do so know the drama of that first day. Does the world want what I have
Entrepreneur Flowers Incorporated?
You should have went with an LLC.
Well, maybe it's an S-Corp.
Whether it's an immigrant opening a beauty salon or Steve Jobs selling an Apple computer,
Steve Jobs,
success is far from
altruistic?
guaranteed.
His very first entrepreneurial act was screwing over Steve Wozniak for a $5,000 bonus that Wozniak earned at Atari.
Yeah, my kind of guy.
Oh, Frank.
In fact, it's just the opposite.
What's the big risk
Those
anyway, that they might
courageous
end up
souls,
working
the
class like the rest of us
entrepreneurs who are the
assholes?
beating
Oh, God, that'd
heart
be a
of
nightmare.
capitalism, who bring us the endless material benefits we enjoy, from ATM machines to life-saving medicines.
Well, I know I just couldn't
Should
live
be
without
held up
automatic
for
teller
admiration,
machines.
not
And my
torn
best
down.
friend in middle school couldn't live because Pfizer bought out his exotic life-saving medication, then cranked up the price to make it beyond the financial reach of his family, so he died of a completely curable disease.
Altruism at its finest.
Prager used design philosophy. If you can't make a real point, distract them with hodges and podges of vector art.
Or make them nauseous with motion sickness inducing push transitions.
Sorry.
Oh, there's chunks of
And while
carrots.
it remains the hope of civilization.
What was that gesture?
Oh,
By
he's just
George
showing off
Gilbert.
because he has
For
arms.
Prager University.
I think Prager must stand for praying these rubes aren't going to examine our rhetoric.
No, I think it's pushing ridiculous arguments, graphics extremely rushed.
No, fellas, it's promoting racist angry grandpa's exhausting rants.
All right, guys, let's get out of here.
We all live in a
submarine.
submarine.
Oh, it's that guy again. Hey, Elon, what's up?
Now, cretins, after watching the video, are you ready to admit that capitalism always works?
No, but it did inspire us to invent a new party game.
We call it the Prager Opposites of Sins game.
First, you take a sin.
Then you have to use meaningless cliches to explain how capitalism is the opposite of that sin.
But you're not allowed to use any empirical facts nor evidence.
Here, I'll go first. Give me a sin.
Wrath.
Being true to yourself is the opposite of wrath.
Not bad.
Oh, my turn.
Avarice.
Daring to be different is the opposite of avarice.
Well done.
Oh, me, my turn.
Okay, horse, how about lust?
Okay. Seeking first to understand, then to be understood is the opposite of lust.
We are all now officially PragerU professors of word science.
Curses! It seems we've more work to do. Denny!
Yes, boss.
Your PragerU video was a complete failure. Apparently these simpering socialists can only be defeated by facts and reason.
Oh, don't worry, boss. There's plenty where that came from. What horrors do Elon Musk and Denny, the climate change denying killer whale, have in store for us? Find out next time on Political Science Theater 2020.
Click subscribe.
And turn on notifications or whatever.
Tell me, who could possibly afford to buy food in a place such as this?
Well, this is just an ordinary food market. Most everybody in America shops in stores like this from time to time. You don't have to be a capitalist. It's not a luxury. Look at this, for instance. Competition and big volume keep prices down.
I say, begging your pardon, sir, are you a capitalist?
What'd you say?
What I mean is, what is your work?
I'm a railroad engineer.
Utterly impossible.
Another dramatic answer to the question of America's distribution of wealth was given by a Russian communist who visited America.
Who owns all these automobiles?
The employees in the plant.
That cannot be.